Cheers to a lovely podcast up ahead, and welcome to a Homespun house. My name is Molly, and I am here today to share with you all of the wonderful autumnal knits that I have been working on this past week. So grab a cozy drink, whether it's fizzy or hot, relax on your sofa, and let's chat about some knitting. I desperately wish that I had a brand new sweater on, because if you've tuned in to the last couple of episodes here, I have been knitting on 2 sweaters. And I thought that I would be able to have my Tulip sweater finished, but I didn't. I'll share that with you in just a moment. In the meantime, let's chat about what it is I am wearing. This is a sweater by Petite Knit. This is called the Ingrid sweater. I knit this using a Homespun house yarn, which is my yarn dyeing business. I knit this in our chamomile colorway. It's one of my favorite yellows. I knit this on non-superwash DK. I really enjoyed knitting it. It was a lot of fun to knit. There's some great shoulder shaping. I liked when I knit this that the sleeves are a little bit loosey-goosey. And I think I knit my sleeves maybe shorter than the pattern called for. I definitely know that I omitted a final round of texture in the body of the sweater. It was the perfect length for me. Very happy with the way that this turned out. This is a very cozy sweater to wear. I did knit the size medium, so this is quite an oversized garment on me, but I enjoy it. It's kind of like a big sweatshirt, especially with that non-superwash yarn. It gives it a very, very different sort of feel than a superwash yarn would. So I had a lot of fun knitting this. All of the different textures that you get with each panel is like a self-striping sock, a self-striping sweater. You always want to get to the next row, or at least I did. If you haven't knit one of these, I definitely recommend it just because it is knit on DK weight yarn. It is definitely a faster knit than a fingering weight sweater. And all of the change up of the textured panels, like I mentioned before, really makes it for quite an enjoyable knit. I'm going to share with you now my Tulip sweater, because as I mentioned, I thought maybe I'd be able to wear it this episode, but that did not happen. So I'm knitting this out of our non-superwash yarn in our tulle skirt colorway. It's just a pretty dainty pink. I did finish one sleeve. You know what? I think I had one sleeve finished last episode, didn't I? But I think I probably did. So this is the first sleeve finished. And I have picked up the stitches for the second sleeve, knit the first cable, and I did all of my short row shaping. Feels wonderful. Now all I need to do is continue with my cables, continue with my texture, continue doing my decreases. I decided to decrease all the way through the end of the 4th cable. So this gives me a bit more decreases than the sweater actually called for, but I just kind of wanted a little bit more of a fitted sleeve. It's still not fitted, but it has a bit more of a fitted look to it than what the pattern called for. So I'm going to continue that on this right sleeve. And next episode, you better believe it, I know I'm knitting this for my youngest daughter. I'm still going to be wearing this in the next episode because I think this is a garment that maybe we possibly will share. This is knit on US 7, 4.5 millimeter needles for the body of the sweater. This is another garment that, like the Ingrid sweater, it goes pretty fast. Now, I had a lot of problems with this sweater, as I've already mentioned numerous times, the pattern writing of the sweater. I found quite a bit of error in the size extra small, which is the size that I chose to knit for this. But given that this is an Aran weight yarn, it goes so quickly and it's a lot of fun to knit on. And I know that if I devoted a day to knitting on this sleeve on and off with every break I would take, I could finish this sleeve. I don't think I could do it on a work day. I think I'd have to probably do it on a weekend where I'm doing a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of cooking, and quite a bit of relaxing. So I might just do that come this weekend, finish this. The weather will get cooler and cooler as the weeks go on, and I'm very excited for my little one to be able to wear that and cozy up with it outside. It's always fun gifting knits to people we care about. I really enjoy it, so I'm excited to give that to her. The next project that I'm working on is my Friday tee. It is yet another pattern, just like this sweater by Petite Knit. I am knitting the extra small again in this sweater. I've already blocked it because both of the arms, as you can see, are on little pieces of yarn holding those stitches aside for when I pick them up and knit the arms. And I have finished the body. I decided not to knit this cropped. I don't even know if I knit it to the length that the pattern called for. I just grabbed one of my favorite sweatshirts and knit it a little bit shorter than that length because this is our superwash merino cashmere nylon base. This is our sweater weather colorway, and because this is superwash yarn, that's why I knit it a little bit shorter than my favorite sweater, because I knew that this was going to grow in length. I am really enjoying this knit. I have already knit it once, as I mentioned. I knit it for my sister in our gorgeous Diagon Alley colorway, and I am playing around with knitting another one of these for my mom. I'm thinking I might knit it up in our cider season colorway. I don't know if she would wear a sweater in that colorway, but I think it would be a lot of fun to knit. Maybe she'll want a tonal, come to think of it, which I also think would be fun. I haven't knit one of these in a tonal yet, and I think that also would be very, very wearable. It's just so much fun to knit with a speckled yarn like this. So it has this really beautiful broken rib stitch pattern. And then this yarn has a lot of fun, fine speckles in it. And I think this is a color that would pair very nicely with dark or light jeans. I'm very much enjoying knitting sweaters, and I have been looking at some patterns for a next sweater that I want to cast on. I really like knitting sweaters, but I don't know if I need any more myself. I also have quite a lot of hand knit sweaters. I do go through them and then gift them to my sister, to my mom, especially when I find new sweaters that I want to knit. The next thing that I've been knitting on and really enjoying is my Cozy Memories blanket. I have finished my Cider season socks. This is how much yarn I have left. I have this in my Cozy Memories basket where I have my blanket, and then I usually have my needles, my yarn, yarns that needed to be added. Here's another one. And yeah, here are my needles. You can see I don't have a square on the needles right now, but I pretty much never stop mid-square. My scissors, my darning needles, and this super sweet Notions pouch my friend Heidi made for me when we lived in America. And then I have my blanket. I don't know how large I want this blanket to be. I feel like if I were going for a lap-sized blanket, I would be done now. So I'm wondering if it's about time to finish this. We don't tend to share our hand knit blankets that often. In fact, it's more so something that I would use for myself, or one of my children would use for themselves, or Robert. Maybe I'll have to sit on the sofa with this one evening and see how it feels, or where I need to add more squares. I am really enjoying knitting on this. This is all a Homespun House yarn using our Patreon minis or sock sets, any extras that I have. All of my blankets, I've mentioned this already, are knit using my soft sock base. I haven't knit a blanket mixing bases, and I don't know why. I think I will have to do that with my next blanket. So I've been saving all of my extra scraps of all different types of yarn so that I can add them into some sort of a blanket. So I will finish off this row, and then I think I'll see how how large the blanket is. It doesn't seem like it's taken a lot of time. I've had a Cozy Memories blanket that's probably about this same size, and that took me years and years to finish. Whereas this blanket, I've probably only been working on it a year or two, almost at the most, I feel like. This is something I enjoy knitting on a lot. It's the most exciting when I have probably 4 to 8 of these yarns. Just little tidbits of yarn that I can pop in my basket and add to my blanket. And I can sit and watch a movie and add some squares to my blanket. It's just more fun than knitting one and setting it aside. I really like to get into a cozy kind of marathon and knit on my Cozy Memories blanket. It's something that especially feels very autumnal. There's nothing better than knitting on a project while you have it on your lap to keep you warm and knitting on. So I've been knitting so many socks. My love for socks has really been invigorated somehow. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've been dyeing so many new colorways, but I have really enjoyed knitting socks lately. This is our Cider season colorway. It is a new colorway to the shop this year. This is the one that I think would make a beautiful no frills Friday tee. I think many sweaters would look gorgeous knit up using our Cider season colorway, but it was also fun to knit a pair of socks with this colorway. These ones I'll be keeping for myself because I don't tend to keep many socks for myself. I usually put them in my sock basket and then wait for someone who really loves the socks to choose them, take them, and then wear them. These ones I really want to keep for myself because I also think this is a colorway that pairs well with any color of jeans. These ones are done and I am so happy to be able to put them on my feet, wear them, and have them finished. The next pair of socks that I am knitting on is our Autumn Glow socks. I'm knitting these out of our Gold Stellina base. The Gold Stellina is also a yarn that I add to my blankets just because it is the same exact as our soft sock base. It just has Gold Stellina in the base. So I'll add it to my blanket because it feels pretty fluidly the same. I think this also would make a gorgeous sweater. I think this colorway would suit my sister amazingly for a sweater. That's why I'm knitting for her these socks. The more and more I knit them, the more I love them and think that I would love to have a pair of these socks. But I've already decided that they're for Amy. So if I need a pair so much, I can always knit myself another pair. And I'm not tired of knitting with this yarn. I think I'd be more than happy to knit another pair. Maybe next year, right? Could be a good idea next year. I'm right at the toe decreases, which is awesome. That means that I will probably have these finished next week. And I'm knitting all of my socks right now on a 2.25 millimeter needle, 60 stitches in the round. And I think for my next socks, I might go to a 2 millimeter needle. I'm still contemplating whether or not I want a tighter gauge than the one that I'm currently knitting. So the next pair of socks that I'm knitting is our blueberry, I almost said blueberry waffle socks, but blueberry tea for 2 is the colorway. I'm knitting these for Robert. I'm actually knitting 2 pair for him right now. This is such a beautiful colorway. It has so many fun pops of color in here. I do have this first one finished. So I like to make a nice long leg on my socks, especially in the autumn. And I am knitting on the second one. I have the cuff finished and I have just done, I haven't even started. I stopped right at the cuff. So I can start just easily knitting in stockinette stitch, which feels great. Now the next pair of socks that I have been knitting on are my Heartbreaker socks. This is also our plump merino base. And these socks are also for Robert. I think this yarn is so much fun to knit with, especially as fall is coming, but it's still a little bit warm. So I do have all of these bright pops of color, which is a lot of fun amongst all of my other more autumnal yarns. I'm really enjoying knitting with these colors in this sock. I have the first one finished. I am doing pretty good on the second sock. I have these in a needle cozy that Danny from Little Bobbins made for me quite a while ago because I took them to the hairstylist. So I popped them in my purse and I like to have my needles protected. It looks as though I have finished my leg. I have finished my heel flap and gusset. Have I finished my gusset? I would guess so. That would make sense. Usually I stop a sock, especially if I'm at the cuff, heel flap and gusset, or the foot where I'm at the toe. I usually will stop it right before so that I'm either at a point where I need to do something or I'm at a point where I don't need to do a single thing. It's nice knitting with all of the different sock bases. I have the soft sock. I have the gold stellina here in the autumn glow colorway. And then I have blueberry tea for 2 and heartbreaker on our plump merino base. There is a final sock that I'm knitting on. And that is a new colorway that I'm absolutely obsessed with. This is called Flannel and Fern. And this is a color. First sock is finished. Second sock is not cast on yet. I'm knitting these for my dad. It's nice that all the socks that I'm knitting right now have a person that I'm gifting them to. They have a place where they're going. They feel very intentional, which feels good. As I mentioned that last time, I have a box filled with socks. Very much enjoying my home this week. So I have spent a lot of time kind of redecorating our bathroom. I redecorated our living room. I completely decorated our home for autumn with a little bit of Halloween, but it's been a lot of fun remaking sourdough, muffins, and getting everything cozy and cleaned up for this new season that we're coming into. I hope you all are doing well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.